Have you ever been judged by what you could see instead of who someone truly was? Imagine being told you must marry a struggling single father just to protect your family's future. You expect a life of hardship, endless bills, and broken dreams. But what if the man everyone called poor was quietly carrying the biggest secret of all? What if the greatest fortune in the room wasn't money, but a heart filled with kindness? Stay with me, because this story proves that kindness sees what pride never can. Sometimes the richest person isn't the one wearing an expensive suit. Sometimes they're the one helping others when nobody is watching. Before we begin, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to Kindness Library, and leave a comment telling us where you're watching from. Your support helps us share more heartwarming stories that remind the world kindness still matters. Emma sat quietly in her father's small office, trying to hold back tears. The family business had collapsed under years of debt. Every bank had refused another loan. Their home would soon be gone unless they accepted one final offer from an old family friend. "You'll have to marry Daniel," her father said softly. "It's the only way to save everything." Emma stared at him in disbelief. "Daniel? The single dad who works at the neighborhood repair shop?" Her father lowered his head. "I know this isn't fair." But he agreed because he wanted to help us. Emma had seen Daniel only a few times. He always wore simple clothes. He drove an old pickup truck and spent most of his time raising his little daughter, Lily. People often whispered that life had been cruel to him after his wife passed away. Emma couldn't understand why anyone would choose such a difficult life. The wedding was small and quiet. No fancy decorations. No expensive honeymoon. Emma smiled for the guests, but inside she believed her dreams had ended. After moving into Daniel's modest house, she noticed something unusual. Every morning Daniel prepared breakfast for Lily before school. He packed her lunch with little handwritten notes that always ended with the words, "Never stop being kind." He greeted every neighbor with a smile. If an elderly person needed help carrying groceries, he stopped what he was doing. When a homeless veteran sat outside the grocery store, Daniel bought him dinner without expecting thanks. Emma couldn't understand it. "We barely have enough," she said one evening. "Why do you keep giving things away?" Daniel smiled gently. "Kindness has never made anyone poorer." Weeks passed, and Emma slowly noticed something else. Although Daniel worked long hours, money never seemed to worry him. Bills were always paid on time. Lily had everything she needed. Yet Daniel still drove the same old truck and lived in the same simple home. One afternoon Emma followed him after work. Instead of returning home, Daniel drove to a children's hospital. He spent hours talking with sick kids, reading stories, and paying for treatments without telling anyone. The hospital director thanked him quietly. "We're grateful for your continued donations, Mr. Carter." Emma froze. "Donations?" Daniel simply smiled. "Please don't put my name on anything." Confused, Emma searched online later that night. Her heart nearly stopped. Daniel Carter wasn't just a mechanic. He was the founder of one of America's largest technology companies. Years earlier, he had quietly stepped away from public life after losing his wife. His company was now worth billions of dollars. His name appeared on magazine covers, but the recent photos were years old. Almost nobody recognized him anymore because he avoided attention. Emma couldn't believe what she was seeing. The next morning she confronted him. "Why didn't you tell me?" Daniel looked at her calmly. "Would it have changed how you treated me?" Emma couldn't answer. "I wanted someone to know me," he continued, "not my bank account." He explained that after becoming wealthy, many people only cared about his money. Friends disappeared when he stopped paying for everything. Business partners lied to him. Even distant relatives suddenly appeared asking for favors. After losing his wife, he decided to raise Lily away from luxury. "I wanted my daughter to grow up believing kindness matters more than wealth." Emma felt ashamed. She realized she had judged Daniel before ever knowing his heart. Over the next few months, everything changed. She joined him during hospital visits. Together they served meals at shelters. They secretly paid medical bills for struggling families. Every act of generosity reminded Emma that true happiness came from helping others. One snowy evening they found a woman and her young son sitting outside a closed bus station. The little boy was shivering. Without hesitation, Daniel invited them into the truck. He paid for a hotel room, warm clothes, and food. Emma whispered, "Most people would have kept driving." Daniel smiled. One small act of kindness can become someone else's reason to keep going. Months later they received a letter. The woman had found a new job, rented an apartment, and enrolled her son in school. She wrote, "You didn't just save one night. You saved our future." Emma cried as she read every word. For the first time in years, she truly understood what success meant. It wasn't measured by expensive cars or giant houses. It was measured by lives changed. As time passed, Emma and Lily grew incredibly close. Emma became the loving mother Lily had desperately needed. Their home was filled with laughter instead of fear. One day Lily asked, "Daddy, why don't people know you're rich?" Daniel hugged her. "Because I would rather they remember I was kind." Years later, Daniel quietly reopened Emma's father's business using anonymous investments. He never took credit. When Emma's father discovered the truth, he apologized with tears in his eyes. "I judged you by your clothes instead of your character." Daniel smiled warmly. The best gifts don't need recognition. Word slowly spread through their town about mysterious acts of generosity. School lunches were paid. Families kept their homes. Scholarships appeared for hard-working students. Nobody knew where the help came from. But Emma knew. Every act carried the same quiet message Daniel had written in Lily's lunchbox years before. Never stop being kind. Emma often thought back to the day she believed marrying Daniel had ruined her life. Instead, it had completely changed it. She hadn't married the richest man because of his money. She had married the richest man because his heart overflowed with compassion. And that was the greatest treasure anyone could ever share. So the next time you meet someone, remember that appearances can hide incredible stories. The person wearing old clothes may have a heart worth more than gold. A simple smile, a helping hand, or a few kind words can change a life forever. If this story touched your heart, carry its lesson into your own life today. Choose kindness even when nobody is watching. Help someone without expecting anything in return. The world becomes brighter every time one person decides to care. Thank you for spending these moments with Kindness Library. Until next time, remember that true wealth is never counted in dollars. It is counted in the lives we lift, the hope we share, and the kindness we leave behind.